Okay, as I was saying, we got power back. Nice. Okay, as I was saying, the endosymbiotic theory, right? Endosymbiotic theory. So I'll explain it again. So this theory means that basically, so there was early eukaryotic cells. They didn't have mitochondria or chloroplast, right? But they were actually bigger than the other prokaryotic cells, and they had a bigger nucleus. I mean, they had a proper nucleus, so therefore they were more complicated. So what they did was, with time, they engulfed, they ate an aerobic bacterium. Right? So that bacterium became what? That bacterium became a mitochondria. And similarly, that another cell or even the same cell after after such a, I mean, so evolution takes not like it doesn't happen tomorrow, right? So it takes like hundreds and thousands and millions of years. So maybe we think, according to this theory, that it engulfed a what? A photosynthetic eukaryote, sorry, prokaryote, such as a bacteria. Then that bacteria became what? The chloroplast. Okay, so this is the endosymbiotic theory, just something additional for you. Okay, then I'll stop screen share. Okay, Wi-Fi is back. Hope so. Can you see the board? Get it? Get the theory. Right? Is it still a bit blurry? Okay. Let's get into mitochondria. So you have to be able to draw mitochondria. Okay. It's a pretty simple structure. Okay. There's a good diagram in your resource as well. So if you can practice to draw that, that will be enough. All right. We call it a elongated organelle, right? Mitochondria. We call it sort of an elongated organelle like this. It is double membrane bound. It's double membrane. It has an inner membrane and an outer membrane, right? So I just drew, this is the outer membrane. And the inner membrane has this sort of infoldings, right? It has this sort of folding, right? This is the inner membrane. Okay, this is the inner membrane. And inside you have several stuff, right? You have in your mitochondria has its own DNA. Mitochondria has its own DNA. So think this is inside of a cell, right? Inside of a big cell. But inside of that big cell, you have a mitochondria that has its own DNA. Got it? It has its own DNA. Then more interestingly, it has its own ribosomes as well. It has its own ribosomes as well. Right? Mitochondria has its own ribosomes. Then what else? Ribosomes in your resource, what does it say? What else? You have DNA, ribosomes, and there are sort of these sort of particles that are not that important that are coming from this inner membrane, right? They're called what? Then I can't remember. What are they called? Cristae. No. Stalk particles. No? They're called stalk particles, but it's not in your. No, so no need. So it has been removed from your this new edition of the resource. So no need. No need of that. What else do you have? That is it. This is basically a ribosome. This is all you need to draw. Then let's label it. What are the parts? This is the outer membrane. This is the inner membrane. Outer membrane, inner membrane. In between, what do you have? In between, we have, this is called the intermembrane space. Is there any lag, Buddha? Because of the breakdown, is there any lag? You hear me clearly? Clear, right? Yeah. Can someone tell me? No, right? Okay. Intermembrane space and DNA. This is mitochondrial DNA and ribosomes. And we call this sort of the interior. There's a gel-like substance inside the mitochondria. There's a gel-like substance inside mitochondria. We call it matrix. Matrix of mitochondria. We call it the matrix. Okay, so there's outer membrane, inner membrane, there are ribosomes, there is DNA. And also, yes, these infoldings. So this is the inner membrane that is sort of this coiled up is the inner membrane. These inner membrane coils, we call them cristae. Cristae of mitochondria. Cristae. Yes, that's it. Please draw this quickly. No lag, okay. Draw this in the tute. Remember the space. Just below this endosymbiotic theory diagram, the one I just showed you. Draw it below that. Keep space because we need to draw a chloroplast as well. Okay, manage space. Right, it's a double membrane bound organelle with the outer membrane. There's an inner membrane, and we call the gap between the two membranes as intermembrane space. Okay, it has its own DNA. And the inner membrane has this sort of foldings called cristae. And the interior, there's a gel, sort of inner to the inner membrane, you have this sort of gel, right? That gel is called the matrix of mitochondria. Right? There's a gel inside. It's called the matrix of mitochondria. And it has its own ribosomes. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you can rewrite them. You can rewrite them. That is going to sort of make you a bit of, it's another bit of work. No? So you just, while rewriting it, you just think about the things. I mean, it's a You can think of it as active memorization when you're rewriting it, right? So, yeah, done. Drew the mitochondria. So go to the resource and let's go through what is there. It's an elongated organelle. So this is very important. You have to describe the mitochondria, highlight the word. It's an elongated organelle. It has two enclosing membranes, the inner membrane and the outer membrane, right? The inner membrane, so the outer membrane is smooth. Can you see? It's smooth. But the inner membrane has been convoluted. What we call as convolutions is like foldings. It has been folded into layers. These foldings are called what? Cristae. Cristae. Very, very important term. Cristae. And the gap or the space between inner and outer is called the intermembrane space. The innermost part, so I told you, it's like a gel. It's called the matrix, right? There are several things in the matrix of mitochondria. What are they? There's a list. There is ribosomes, Puta. These ribosomes are not the ones you have in your rough endoplasmic reticulum. These are 70S ribosomes. What do you have in your RER? What type of ribosomes do you have? You have 80S ribosomes. You have 70S ribosomes in mitochondria. And then DNA, we call these with a special name. These are circular DNA. Circular DNA, that's why I drew it like this. It's like a ball of DNA. Ball of DNA. Okay, circular DNA. And what else? Phosphate granules. What do you need phosphate? Why do you need phosphate to the inside the mitochondria? Anybody? I'm not going to give all the explanations. You just have to think a bit. Why do you need phosphate? Why do you need phosphate? What does the mitochondria do? What does the mitochondria do? It produces energy. What is energy in a cell? What do we call as energy in a cell? What do we call as energy in a cell? Adenosine triphosphate is your energy in a cell. How do you make adenosine triphosphate? You take adenosine diphosphate and you add phosphate. To add this phosphate, you need what? You need phosphate granules. So that's why inside the mitochondria, they say you have phosphate granules. The matrix carries enzymes for reactions in the Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle, you don't need to explain right now because you will have to memorize the Krebs cycle. Maybe next month, when you're not next month, in about 2 months, we'll be doing cellular respiration. So you have this cycle called Krebs cycle or the citric acid cycle. We have to memorize the Krebs cycle even when you are doing medicine, right? So if you follow it, if you further follow like a biological field, Krebs cycle will come and haunt you, right? Krebs cycle, it contains enzymes in the Krebs cycle. Further, cristae are composed of proteins and enzymes essential for the electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. All these are parts of cellular respiration. You will understand when we have done cellular respiration what is oxidative phosphorylation and electron transport chain. Okay. Then write down underneath the mitochondria a few points. Write down underneath mitochondria a few points. Write down a few points. Highly energy demanding cells. Highly energy demanding cells have several mitochondria. highly energy demanding cells have several mitochondria in their cytosol. Highly energy demanding cells have several mitochondria in their cytosol. Examples. Cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle. What is cardiac muscle? Cardiac muscle. Where is cardiac muscle located? Where is cardiac muscle located? In the heart. Cardiac muscle, sperms have several mitochondria. Right? Sperms require a lot of energy to swim. Right? The sperms have to go from usually sort of inside the vagina, sort of depends on how far up they are deposited, right? The sperms have to swim at least about, depends on the anatomy, the body type, they have to swim at least 3-4 inches. Not 3-4, maybe sometimes it can be 5-6 to reach the egg. So that is such a small distance for us, but when you are like a micrometer level, very small cell, smallest cell, that is like hundreds of kilometers for the sperm. So it has to have a lot of mitochondria to have the energy to swim. Then write down. Mitochondria has its own DNA. Mitochondria has its own DNA. Mitochondria has its own DNA and ribosomes. Mitochondria has its own DNA and ribosomes. Mitochondria has its own DNA and ribosomes. Within brackets, write down after ribosomes 70S. 70S. Okay, any questions from mitochondria? Any questions? Next, we have, shall I erase this? All clear about mitochondria? So now you can see why we think of mitochondria as it's like an independent cell inside the cell. Because it has its own DNA, it has its own ribosomes, it has its own membranes, right? So it is sort of like a cell inside the cell, the mitochondria. Chloroplast is also like that. It's like a cell inside a cell. Okay. Let's draw a chloroplast. We sort of describe the chloroplast as a biconvex lens shaped, like this chloroplast. And inside, you have this sort of stacks of membrane podi podi kandu membrane kandu, right? Membrane godaval, right? Stacks of membrane. Okay, and these membranes are somewhat sort of interconnected a little bit, interconnected, right? What else? They have their own DNA as well. Chloroplast also have their own DNA. What else? They have their own ribosomes as well. They have their own ribosomes as well. It's a big ribosome. They have their own ribosomes as well. What else? That is basically it. And also, I forgot to draw. It is a double membrane bound. Okay. Just two membranes. This is basically your chloroplast. Basically, your chloroplast. Let's label it. Outer membrane. Inner membrane. Right? Outer membrane, inner membrane. In between them, you have what? Intermembrane space. Intermembrane space. Then you have several names for this. So this stack, this body god, right? It's a membrane stack, right? It's a stack of membranes. We call it a granum. Granum, right? A single one is a granum. Plural, grana. Grana. Okay, so this is a chloroplast. In case you forget what we are doing, chloroplast. This stack is called a granum. Like all these are grana. Okay, grana. Then this grana are actually formed by this green color membrane, the green membrane. So it's like, imagine like several layers of bags sort of folded on top of each other bags, maybe polythene bags or something. So the polythene is called as a thylakoid. Thylakoids. Thylakoids. Okay, thylakoids. Okay. And this is your circular DNA. These are your what? 70S ribosomes. 70S ribosomes. And this, I said, this sort of grana are interconnected by, is it in your resource? No, they are interconnected by, these connections are called intergranal lamellae. You don't need that because it has been removed. Okay. It's not in the resource. Intergranal lamellae. No need that. And similar to the inner gel inside the mitochondria. What was the inner gel of the mitochondria called? Innermost. Similar to the cytoplasm of a cell. What was it called? The gel inside mitochondria, what was it called? Anybody remember? The gel inside the mitochondria, what was it called? Matrix of mitochondria wage. We have a gel inside the chloroplast. It's called the stroma. Stroma of chloroplast. Stroma of chloroplast. Oh no. The name is there, Buddha. These connections between granum. The connections between grana. It's called intergranal lamellae. Lamellae. You spell it like that. Lamellae. So these are grana. So intergranal lamella. Lamella means like a bridge, right? It's a membrane connection. Okay. Draw this. Write the topic chloroplast and draw this. It is a double membrane bound structure. Has an outer membrane and an inner membrane. Intermembrane space is there. Inside the chloroplast, you have a different membrane system called the thylakoids. They form this sort of godawal or stacks called granum, plural grana. And the inner gel is called the stroma. And the grana are interconnected by intergranal lamellae. And you have your DNA, which is circular. And you have ribosomes, which are 70S. Very simple. Quickly draw this. Did I give any homework last week? To write any essay? I should have given. Did I give anything? Did I give any homework? To write any essay? No? Okay. What was the structured essay? We did no? Did I? Didn't we discuss the structured essay in the class? Yeah, Buddha. The cytosol, there's a question. What's the difference between cytosol and cytoplasm? So cytosol is the gel without organelles. No organelles. Right? Cytosol doesn't have organelles. Cytoplasm is sort of the entire thing with the organelles. Right? All right. We use it, we use it in mixture. No need to, it's not wrong that you use cytosol and cytoplasm in mix, right? That structure is okay. It's in the tube, right? No. Did I? Okay. That question is not in the tube, right? Did I say it just to write down? I don't remember anything. Yeah? Did I say it? Okay. Okay. I'm giving you an essay today. I'm giving you an essay question. Please remind to give you the marking scheme, okay? Otherwise, I forget. And especially the things I say without that's not in the tute, I mean, I completely forget. Okay. So if you have drawn this, are you done? Done drawing the chloroplast? Are you done? Is it in the chat still? Okay. No. Right. Okay. So write down homework essay, part A. Briefly describe the structure of mitochondria. Briefly describe the structure of mitochondria. Briefly describe the structure of mitochondria. Part A, please briefly describe the structure of mitochondria. Briefly describe the structure of mitochondria. Briefly describe the structure of mitochondria. Part B, briefly describe the structure of chloroplast. Briefly describe the structure of chloroplast. Briefly describe the structure of chloroplast. So, what is the most important thing that you have to do when you're writing this essay? Part A and both part A and part B. What is the most important thing that you should not forget? What you should do to get the full marks? What should you do? What shouldn't you forget? None. That's really good. Even I have trouble explaining this to my 2025 class. What essay topics require a diagram? Still, they have trouble identifying what essay topics require a diagram. They just draw this and write the essay without the necessary diagram. So, with time, usually, if I draw something in the board, you have to be able to draw that in the paper. I'm not a very good artist, so if I draw something in the board, you have to practice to draw it by yourself in the paper. All right. So in those two essay questions, this is just one essay question. I mean, in those two parts, you absolutely have to draw the structures of the mitochondria and chloroplast. Otherwise, I mean, not you are going to lose some marks. I'll give you the marking scheme next week. Okay. Then, shall I erase this? I think next week we can finish your this cellular basis. No, this might require another week maybe. No, we can finish next week. Okay, we can finish next week cellular basis, and the week after we have to start cell division. Okay, week after we have to start cell division. So next week we'll do cytoskeleton, cell junctions, cell wall, extracellular matrix. Extracellular matrix. So let's do some questions. Let's do some questions. I'll start screen sharing. Subcellular components. So this part you can't do because this story about mitochondria having stock particles have been removed, right? So this there used to be, I drew and erased them. If you can remember, there's this sort of projections like branches of a tree coming from this crystate called stock particles. They contain some enzymes, but that part has been removed from your resource. But anyway, it's in some questions, right? So you can understand the outer membrane doesn't contain stock particles, it's the inner membrane. So I gave you the I'll give you the answer for that statement. But do this question number 4. What are they asking the correct one? What part B is briefly describe the structure of chloroplast. Part B of the essay. Yeah, I'll explain that. Okay, about the recordings. The last week's recording I uploaded, right? Yeah, last week's recording in the study reserve website you have, right? Yeah. Yeah, in future I'll give you that notice. Okay. To this question number 4. Okay, done. What's the answer? Okay, I'm getting some. Right. Okay, let's discuss regarding subcellular components. Okay, DNA and ribosomes are present in thylakoids. No, thylakoids are just inside the chloroplast. But if they said chloroplast have DNA and ribosomes, yes. Thylakoids are sort of again another structure inside chloroplast. You can't say thylakoids have DNA and ribosomes. Right? Get it? They are sort of independent things. Right? So it's wrong. Outer membrane that I already explained. Glycosomes have enzymes required to convert fatty acids to glycolipids. No, sugars. Sugars. Golgi apparatus manufactures cellulose. Yes, cellulose and non-cellulose components, such as pectin, manufactured by Golgi. Chromatin is embedded in the nuclear lamina, which is made up of protein. And that confusion is again. Where is chromatin embedded? Is it in the nuclear lamina Oh, where else? Where is chromatin embedded? I went to a lot of lengths to give this distinction between nuclear lamina and the what? Where is chromatin embedded? No, not the nucleolus. Where? Yes, the nucleus is right. Anyway, nuclear lamina is part of the nucleus is also. Yes, that's like that's not the correct answer. Right. Anyway, nuclear lamina is also in the nucleus. No? Chromatin is definitely chromatin is what? Chromatin is DNA. No? Chromatin is DNA. Right? Nuclear lamina එකේද embed වෙලා ඉන්නේ. Where are they? Hmm. Nuclear matrix. I explain this. Nuclear lamina is sort of like the yatali, like the supporting like parts of a roof, like supporting sort of timber or like the beams of a roof. They are just lining the inside of the nuclear envelope. They are not inside the cell. Sorry, inside the nucleus. They are just lining the interior of the nuclear envelope. But what is inside the nuclear matrix? So what is inside the nucleus? That is the nuclear matrix that is providing support, like නිකන් අර පලංචි බැඳලා වගේ. It's like providing support to the nucleus from the inside of the nucleus. So therefore, the chromatin are embedded there in the nuclear matrix, right? Got it? Correct this as nuclear matrix. Okay, clear. Do this one. In mitochondria. No. Wait, can you do it? Think of this as wrong. I'll give you the answer for number 4. Don't think of it. It's not the answer. Answer number 4 is the wrong answer. Then try. No, don't try that right now. Okay. It's a waste. I mean, we can try it when we have done. This one. Select the correct subcellular component, function, example, combination, and also do this one, 42, and also do this one, 43. Okay. Please put the answers. Yeah, I'm getting the answers late. You're putting the nuclear matrix answers bit late. Be quick, right? Think of it as a physical class and be ready with in the chat, right? Send me answers quickly. Okay, shall we discuss? Correct subcellular component function combination. Glyoxysomes transport residue material out of the cell. Who is that? Who does that? Kalivarla Kaputan Askarane Kaud cleans up after himself. Lysosomes. Right? Right down in front. The correct answer. Lysosomes. Right? This is called what? Exocytosis. Exocytosis. Okay. Then smooth endoplasmic reticulum, production of transport vesicles. Okay, no? Rough endoplasmic reticulum, metabolism of carbohydrates. I think I never forget. I mean, I never remember this. Carbohydrate metabolism, SCR, true. No, that's a function of SCR, no? So rough, that is wrong. This, yeah, rough ER doesn't do carbohydrate metabolism, no? So wrong. Nucleus synthesis of glycoproteins, no. Nucleus doesn't produce glycoproteins. Peroxisomes photorespiration, yes. But so there's a doubt between answer number 2 and 5. How do we choose? Peroxisomes involved in photorespiration is very correct. Right? It's very correct. No? You are 100% sure. Produce smooth endoplasmic reticulum produces vesicles, yes. But that is to transport within the cell. So therefore, because it's lacking that sort of distinction within the cell කියන එක නැති හින්දා, we think better to take answer number 5. Understood? Better take answer number 5. Yeah, got it. Then 42. Glycolipids are synthesized by which of the following organelles? Glycolipids. Who produces glycolipids? Glycolipids. Do we know anyone who produces glycolipids? Mhm. I think it's a function of Golgi, no? I kind of remember. Yeah, it's a all syllabus question. How did you find the answer for this? It's not in your current syllabus. Yes. So I sort of forgot. It's a all syllabus question. I sometimes put them because sometimes you can answer. Golgi. Yeah, Buddha. Glycolipids is done by Golgi. Yeah, sorry about that. It's a all syllabus question. But about 43, found only in plant tissues, glyoxysomes. All the others you can find in animal tissues. Okay. Any doubt? Okay. So I think that is enough for today because we can finish. We can take. I mean, this cellular basic stuff. You have some areas that we have to go into deep, and we have to practice drawing. And I'll tell you about this new website situation. So it's called Gurutaru Online, I think. Yes. So it's a. I mean, it's a. I think it's a better website than the study reserve. Okay, it's a better website than the study reserve. It has more features. You can directly join from the website. So I'm thinking of switching to Gurutaru, and they are going to handle my tube delivery as well. And they are going to have someone that is sort of in contact with you, sort of 24 hours. There's like a not a customer support, student support personnel, right? And there's other teachers there as well. Janidu Leelananda, physics, and Pasindu. I can't remember his name. Pasindu for chemistry. So all these other teachers are streaming there. So I'm thinking of switching to this. But if you have made the payment for July, don't switch it. So don't switch to here right now because they are going to ask you payment. So if you have made the payment to me for this month, then stay this month in the study reserve. I mean, in with me, and from the next month onwards, when you have run out of 4 classes, enroll to this website. Okay. I think it's a much better website than Study Reserve because it's sort of always getting updates. Anyway, I'm going to do through Zoom. Okay, don't worry. The Zoom link is available through the website. All right. So don't worry. It's going to be done through Zoom, and the recordings will be available there. And the recordings are again YouTube, that sort of unlisted YouTube videos, not drive links. So again, you have that sort of benefit of having a YouTube data package and then watching the recordings. All right. So that is the situation. So if you have paid fees for the July month, don't switch to the website. Anyway, I'm going to be putting the link in our normal group as well for about another month. So these are the benefits, right? You can, if you're joining with these other teachers, then it's going to be easy for you. And anyway, it's going to be, I think, it's going to be like a better supported website. Any questions? Any questions, Sudha? Yeah. Any doubts that you want to clarify? Anything? Is there anyone who has already joining classes through this website? Netma, you said you are going to Jani Dusa, right? Oh, Pasindu. Is he streaming through this website? Yeah, right? Through CJ Maths. Ah, okay. There's a separate website called CJ Maths, no? Right. That's the thing. I have to pay them a bit of like a percentage of the class fee. But I'm choosing that because I don't have to handle the recordings or anything or the payments. Right. So any questions? So if you have made the payment for this month, don't enroll right now. But from next month onwards, I'm thinking of switching to that platform. Okay. Got it. Anything else? Any doubts? Any doubts? No. Then we can end. Okay. Right. You can ask me any question anytime in the group. Any clarification? Okay. Then, okay. Good night. Thank you for joining. Okay. Good night.